Early this morning, Channels Television got a phone call from Abidjan, the Ivorian capital, from the headquarters of the African Development Bank, denying media reports that the development finance institution has cancelled Nigeria's balance of $400 million out of the $1 billion the AFDB promised Nigeria about a year ago. Of course, 2 weeks ago, on the 16th of October, we had an exclusive interview with the president of the AFDB in the United States, and this was what he told me about the balance of that money. Nigeria got $600 million, then there was a balance of $400 million, and I kept pressing Dr. Adeshina, where is the balance of the $400 million? This was what he said 2 weeks ago. Let's take a listen. US dollars is a balance of $400 million outstanding. When will that money be coming?
I'm very, proud of the fact that Nigeria is out of recession. As you know, we have three countries that we always watch very closely on the continent, and that is Nigeria, South Africa, and Algeria. Between the three of them, they account for 50% of the GDP of Africa. And so whatever affects any of those countries, for me, those economies are way too big to fail. They're just way too big to fail. And that's why you found that we rallied around Nigeria very, very strongly, because we wanted Nigeria to be able to get out of the situation of the decline of commodity prices that have severely affected the economy. I'm glad that the economy is coming out of recession, which is a good one. But there are other investment areas apart from just supporting them in terms of budget. Take the case of the power sector. We as African Development Bank, we are supporting the transmission company of Nigeria to actually make it, to repair and to upgrade the transmission lines all across Nigeria, which is very, very critical. We're supporting the Nigerian bulk electricity trader to be able to have access to money to pay the backlog of loans that they own to the generating companies and the distribution companies. And we're investing a lot of money in that. And I remember when we're also supporting the Minister of Power there, Fashola. He ran into me in Morocco, and I said, well, look, Minister, why don't you go take a look at the new Ouarzazate, which is in Morocco. The African Development Bank helped to build that. It is the world's largest concentrated solar power plant, which is, roughly about almost going to be about almost 500 megawatts. And of course, he went over there, and we're supporting him now to put in place a plan, so that we can have similar kind of solar power systems in Nigeria from Jigawa and other parts of the country. And so what I'm saying is that whether it is in agriculture, we're supporting a lot of work in agriculture in Nigeria. Of course, you know that I'm a great fan of the young people of Nigeria, in particular those that go into agriculture as a business. We put up a $350 million facility for Nigeria to develop literally thousands and thousands of these young people that will take agriculture as a business. We are investing in the ICT industry in Nigeria, as we are also investing in infrastructure in various parts of Nigeria. So our investment in Nigeria is a very comprehensive one. And don't forget, over 64% of our investment in Nigeria is in the private sector. Because, for me, the private sector is a lifeline of the economy. And so I think a lot of more work needs to continue to be done. And I commend the government for what's been done now to open up the space to improve the doing business. And I think the government is also improving that. In all parts of Africa, we've got to make it easier for the private sector to operate.
So for Nigeria, Mr. President, is beyond the $600 million, the $400 million, is it still coming to Nigeria?
Well, we don't make decisions for Nigeria. Nigeria determines what they use with the money. But we are discussing with Nigeria because the economy is coming out of recession. The urgency that they had in the beginning was very pressing in terms of the debt situation. It's not as acute as it was at that time. We are discussing about how to package the $400 billion into actual investment projects, which will be, you can take a look at agriculture, you can take a look at the energy sector, you can look at the infrastructure sector, you can look at how to make small and medium-sized enterprises work. At the end of the day, It's just to make sure that the financing actually accelerates development. I think that's what the government wants, and that's what we want to see.
Dr. Akinwumi Adeshina, the president of the EFDB, in that exclusive interview with Channels Television just about 2 weeks ago. You want to watch the entire interview all over again, go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/channelsweb, or you go to channelstv.com, click on programs, and you go to Business Morning, and you find the entire interview right there. Let's move on to the markets, a very quick one. Look at the stock market yesterday. Earnings continue to flow in, some good, some not so good. We got a number of those earnings. We'll talk about them towards the end of the program. But first, look at the stock market. The banks helped the market to eke out 0.06% gain on Monday. The market cap, 12.619 trillion naira. Flip that over and look at the key market primary indicators. Look at the 5 sectors. The banks got about 0.75%. Oil and gas gained 0.06%. Forty Oil make the comeback yesterday, 7.05%. A massive buying into Forty Oil yesterday, and that pushed that sector into green. The consumers and industrial goods remain negative. Let's look at the volume. That's below our daily average in terms of volume, 174.95 million. In naira value, that's just a paltry $5 million US dollars by some exchange rate. That's about 1.8 billion naira. We finished off last week about $11.6 million, and we're starting this week on a very downside in terms of volume. In terms of deals, we're not really far from our daily average, 3,400. Let's talk more about the energy market, the world of commodities, Nigeria. We'll talk about rubber production in Nigeria and a little bit of the world of oil. Then we hear from Dr. Ebeka Chiku, is a roadmap for Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Stick around.